Hello from London.
Hello.
Hello from the We Stand With Shaka campaign.
Yeah.
And I believe that the giant inflatable of Shaka armor is making his way around in front of the White House behind us. The real Shaka armor can't be here, but he is free from Guantanamo finally.
Yeah.
And let me just briefly tell you how much work it was to get one man out of Guantanamo. Campaigners worked for years in Britain, standing as campaigners have done here, outside the White House, in Britain outside our Parliament, every week, in the rain, whatever the weather was like. We got MPs involved, MPs got other MPs involved. We had cross-party support for the release of Shaka armor. We had major support from the mainstream media, including the most popular conservative tabloid in the UK, the Daily Mail. I set up this campaign in November 2014 with a friend, Joanne McInnes, based around the giant inflatable figure of Shaka armor. We got over 100 celebrities and MPs to stand with Shaka armor. All of this to put pressure on the man who lives in the White House to release one man from Guantanamo Bay. And yeah, finally it happened. What a success that was. But what an insane amount of effort to get one man out of that wretched place. Why was Shaka armor held for so long? He was told 8 years before he was released that the US no longer wanted to hold him. That was under President Bush. He was told again under President Obama after his task force reviewed all the prisoners' cases that they didn't want to hold him, and still he was held. Shaka armor is an extraordinarily eloquent and charismatic man. He has natural leadership abilities, and from the moment that he was apprehended in Afghanistan in late 2001, he fought against the Americans' betrayal of their values, their laws, and their treaties, and the ways that they treated people. And for that, he was regarded as a threat. There was never any evidence against him that was reliable at all that he posed any kind of terrorist or military threat to the United States. What it was that he was a leader of the prisoners, that he stood up to the ways that they were treated. And for that, there were people who year after year after year didn't want him free. 2 Yemeni men were released from Guantanamo and given new homes in Ghana. That shows you how crazy the situation has become in Guantanamo. The US government is shopping around for countries that will take Yemenis because the US government won't send them home to their home country. These two guys, one of them was told under President Bush in 2005 that they didn't want to hold him. It took over 10 years to release him after he was told the US didn't want to hold him. The other guy was told on Christmas Day 2006 that the US didn't want to hold him. What country are we in where we have review processes to say to people, we don't want to hold you anymore, we're going to make the arrangements to release you, and yet people are held for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years after that takes place and are not released? You know what dictatorships do when they throw you in a dungeon and throw away the key? They don't make any apologies. They don't tell you there's going to be a review process and that they're going to release you if you go through successfully, and then they don't release you, because that is the cruelest thing you can do to take away people's hope. The people in Guantanamo cheered the night that President Obama was elected president. It's 7 years later. We need President Obama to close Guantanamo. Now, we have over 40 people approved for release in Guantanamo who need to be released as soon as possible. Of the rest of the prisoners, there are 103 men now. Do you know how many are facing or have faced trials? 10. Do you know how many of the 779 men at Guantanamo who were held throughout the prison's history have faced trials? Altogether, 15. That's less than 2% of the prison population. Now, the rest of the guys, that's 49 guys there now. You read the papers and they will lazily tell you that these people are too dangerous to release. They're not. These people are going through a review process called the Periodic Review Boards. They were told about this 5 years ago, and guess what again? President Obama said these reviews will all take place within a year. Well, they haven't. 18 have taken place, 40 odd are still to take place. Let me tell you about these too dangerous to release prisoners. These people called the forever prisoners because they're told they can't leave. They've had 18 reviews. Do you know how many of those have been successful for the prisoners? 15. That's an 83% success rate. It turns out these people who are supposed to be too dangerous to release are not too dangerous to release. One of them was just sent back to Saudi Arabia today. Fayez al-Kandari, who was sent to Kuwait, is one of those people. So we have to say to President Obama that we want to see almost everybody that is in Guantanamo released as swiftly as possible. He has some people that he can put on trial, and he needs to do that. But this is the year that we can see Guantanamo closed. And I would like to see all you guys again under much more favorable circumstances when we can look back on this dreadful period and say that we did something to stop it, but that justice finally prevailed. Thank you very much.